welcome to another episode of Asexualized, My Sexual Life. This is a place to be for education about asexuality, all things asexual, and I share my own asexual life journey in order to help you in yours. If you haven't already subscribed, please hit the great big subscribe button right here, right now. Please hit that bell icon to get notified of every time I go live right now, post a new video. And don't forget to give this video a thumbs up if you're enjoying the content as we go along. The subscribe button is down below. So welcome to Asexual Perspectives Awareness Month, day 24 now on. If you didn't know what Asexual Perspectives Awareness Month is all about, it's about celebrating our diversity across the spectrum and our differences within it. I'll speak correctly in a minute. And I brought the Asexual Perspectives Awareness Month out at the same time I published this book back in July 2017. So this book is called Asexual Perspectives, 47 Asexual Stories, Love, Life and Sex, a celebration of asexual diversity. I'm also the founder of asexualise.com and the founder of Asexualise Academy. And, you know, in this book, it's wonderful because there's multiple asexual stories and what asexuals really think of love, life and sex. And in today's episode, we're going to be taking some excerpts from this book about what the responses have been to coming out as asexual. So that's what some of the that's what all the interviewees talk about in this book, is about coming out as asexual, you know, what it's like for them, the responses that they got. So I'm going to be reading a few excerpts out from this book. By the way, if you want to get this book, it is the links are down below. But I'm going to read you some excerpts so you know exactly what the reactions might be like that you could possibly expect if you're coming out as asexual. Obviously, this is just a snippet. Everyone is different. So it's really, this is Silji's, Silji Vid. I can't even pronounce it. I'll call them Silji, I think, because their surname is like Vindiclockers story, something like that. It's on page 49 if you've got the printed edition of the book. So so are you out about being asexual? If not, why not? If you are out, whom to and how did they react? Can I say sort of? If someone asks nicely, I'll answer and not run away. I don't mind if people know, I'm just not going to shout it to every passerby. My family doesn't know because they can barely keep their heads on about me being vegan. I can't even comprehend how they'll deal with me not only dropping Judaism in favour of Wicca, but this too? Ha, I don't give them credit because they don't deserve it. Most of my friends know and they took it well. The others live in fantasy land, so my words have no effect. I just let them be. So, yeah, very interesting. So, Victoria's story. Are you out about being asexual? If not, why not? And if you are out, who do and how did they react? I'm out to a lot of my friends and none of my family, although I intend on coming out to all of them at some point. I mostly only come out to people when the situation occurs organically. I usually won't go up to people and tell them I'm asexual. If the situation allows it, I come out. I've gotten the whole spectrum of reactions, from people telling me I'm confused or that I just haven't tried it with them yet, to people telling me it's just another regular orientation and being fine with it. Luckily, I haven't had any bad reactions from close friends, which is always a good thing. So next we're going to go in the book and we're going to talk about Callie's story. So, are you out, Callie? And if so, whom to and how did they react? I'm out to some people and not others. Most people I met before I started actually identifying as ace don't know, because it seems like an awkward thing to just bring up randomly. A few old co-workers know because they outright asked if I was asexual, and I'm fairly open about it now that I've moved away from home. Everyone I've told has reacted positively, fortunately for me, and I think that's a big deal. You know, I think when you do move out of home, if you haven't already come out as asexual, that is the prime time to come out, because, you know, you're not financially restrained by your family, or you shouldn't be still anymore. You should be free to be able to to just be yourself. I know that sounds a bit weird, because you should be able to be yourself around your family, but some people can't. Some people are in situations where their parents get angry over things that they shouldn't be angry over. They're in like abusive home situations, and they're in dangerous situations. So although I recommend coming out as asexual to anyone and everyone, personally, I think it's good for you. There are certain instances where, obviously, if your life's in danger, if you're going to be having any physical abuse, or that type of thing, then you don't want to be putting your life in danger. I don't recommend that at all. I never would. I recommend getting out of that situation as soon as possible. Obviously, if you're a certain age, then you can't always just up and leave your parents. They're your legal guardians, and you might not be your parents. It might be someone else you legally looks after. It could be foster parents, it could be aunt, uncle, grandparents, it could be someone you've gone to move with. That can be abusive, and I do understand in those situations you might feel that you can't come out because it's unsafe to. Obviously you need to leave that situation. You can't stay in that situation, but people do stay in those situations for a long period of time. So, if you think your life's going to be in danger because you come out as asexual, then, I don't recommend that. I recommend getting to safety and getting the heck out of there, because you need to be yourself in life. There's nothing wrong with being asexual. It's just different to what a lot of the world is, and that's okay. There's lots of differences. We're all beautifully different in this world, and you should never feel ashamed that you can't tell people. You should never feel frightened. You should never feel uncomfortable. You should just be you. And if other people are uncomfortable and got a problem with it, it really is their problem. So so let's have a quick look at Thomas's story. Are you out, Thomas, about being asexual? If not, why not? And who are you out to? If you're out to anyone, and how did they react? I'm currently out as an asexual. The first person I told was my ex-wife and brother-in-law. While they did not understand at first, they were ultimately very supportive. And I think that's really, really good if you can, be open and honest. From my own personal point of view, if you didn't already know, then I came out to my parents. So I found out I was asexual in 2014, because I went to a counsellor, because I couldn't hack the expectation of sex at the end of the night with someone, a guy I would date. I just got to the stage where I really wanted a relationship. I didn't want sex to be involved. I didn't know what to do, because I knew that I was hugely romantic. I decided a romantic relationship, yet, I couldn't be dating sexuals anymore because of the expectation of sex. And obviously the worst thing the person could have said to me was, you must have sex in order to keep a good guy. And really, that is the worst advice they could have absolutely given an asexual person, or any person for that matter. It's like saying it's okay, you can do stuff against your will because the guy's good. I mean, to me, those two things just don't go together. How can a guy be good if they're saying I'm only going to be good to you if you have sex with me, if you don't stop me having sex with you, otherwise I'm just going to be unfaithful and go off with other people. Do you know what I mean? It's if you're openly asexual and tell them you are, then if they don't accept that, they go on their merry way. But to have a counsellor saying that, I literally thought I was the only one on the world, planet, universe that didn't want sex in a relationship. I honestly believe that, hand on my heart. And if it wasn't for finding out I was asexual in 2014, God knows what would have happened to me. I would have literally thought I have to be single for the rest of my life. And there's nothing wrong with being single for the rest of your life. I mean, indeed, I might end up still being single forever. I might have periods where I date or kiss a guy or something, but I might end up predominantly being single all my life. I do believe, though, that there is someone out there for me. I do believe there's a romantic soulmate. And I think I will find him. I think he might not even know he's asexual. That's the thing. There's so many people that don't even know they're asexual yet. So it could be that his journey of asexuality hasn't yet begun. Who knows? But when I came out to my parents, I did like I went home after that situation with the counsellor, and I googled "I love kissing but not sex," and I don't know why I never googled that before. It's like really weird. Why did you never do that? I just never thought about googling it. I don't think I used Google as much back then. And yeah, it came up with asexuality and asexuality.org. And then I was reading forums and thinking, God, these people like me, everyone wants sex. And I felt so relieved, just so relieved. And yeah, it's been a journey though, asexuality, you know, real journey. I found out a lot of stuff about my sexuality as a whole, about what I do and don't like in relationships. And it's still a journey, you know, it never stops. But when I came out to my parents, I did like 3 weeks of research to find out what type of asexual I was as well. I knew I was heteromantic because I only ever attracted to guys, but I didn't know. At the beginning, I thought I was told by someone who holds asexual meetups in London at the time that I must be a grey asexual with the way I like to kiss, which is tongue kissing, passionate kissing, but with my clothes on. They told me I was a grey A. But then when I went on asexuality.org and I started applying that to me, heteromantic grey A, they said you can't be because you told us you didn't experience any sexual attraction, and people who are grey A do experience that. They experience it under limited, rare, or specific circumstances, or not enough to want to act on it, and that's not you. And whilst that is true, the definition in 2014, when I actually looked on Avon Wiki, was a catch-all term for someone who's between asexual and sexual. And still that doesn't really fit me because I am really fully asexual in the sense I don't experience any sexual attraction whatsoever. But I have the grey area of sexual behaviour and some of the things with the kissing. So I kind of feel like I'm a bit stuck sometimes. But you know, I am a heteromantic. And when I came out to my parents, I spoke to them on the phone. I was actually in the city, right? This is how outspoken I am. And I didn't even know it's called coming out. I'd never experienced asexuality before. Remember, I was new to it. I'd only been new about 3 weeks. My parents, I pretty much tell loads of not necessarily all personal stuff, but I tell them quite a lot of personal stuff. And I just came out, you know, I just told them I'm asexual. I was walking down the road in my city, down a place called 4th Street. I was on the phone just saying, hey, Mum, I've seen this. I think I said what the counsellor said, and I said I Googled I love kissing, not sex. And then I came across this thing called asexuality, and I went in these forums, and they're like me, you know, there's people that don't like sex. You know, and I don't like nudity. And I think I even found out there's other people like me that don't like nudity. And I was just like relieved, and I told my mum on the phone. My dad's usually always in the background if he's not doing his non-profit business, and so it's kind of like when I tell my mum, I'm telling my dad as well. And yeah, it was like the next conversation I had on the phone. My mum said, "Oh, it sounds like you," and that was it. They just accepted it. I think they must have Googled it because obviously they said it sounds like you. You know, by second conversation, and they would just accept it. And my parents are fine with understanding me now a lot better. They understand why I don't like nudity. They didn't before. They used to laugh at that. They used to laugh at the fact I didn't want sex, even though they don't believe in sex before marriage. So I don't really understand why they were laughing. Because when I was with a Bangladesh guy, dating him in 2013, and I just couldn't have sex with him, my parents thought that was funny, and that was heartbreaking, absolutely heartbreaking. I'm like thinking, well, you don't even agree with sex before marriage, so why would you want me to have sex with him anyway? But you know, and the fact that my parents just used to mock me, going, "Oh, you just want a friend, you do," and that wasn't true, you know. And I do get offended by that, you know, because I'm an asexual that's romantic. I didn't know I was asexual back then, you know. My parents just used to mock the fact that I didn't want sex and that all I want is a platonic friend, which is not true. As you know, I don't experience, as an asexual, I don't experience any platonic attraction whatsoever. I jump to romantic attraction pretty quickly, and other attractions, multiple attractions. I'm hyper romantic, so they couldn't be further from the truth in that respect, you know. And it just, you know, like even now, if someone says anything about platonic relationship to me personally, that's offensive. It's not offensive to aromantic asexuals who want a platonic relationship, but to me, it's very offensive because it's like, well, no, I don't kiss my friends. Do you know what I mean? I don't want a platonic friend. I don't kiss my friends. I don't wish to like snog my friends. I don't wish to kiss friends' chests. I don't wish to run my fingers through my friend's hair unless I fancy them, obviously. Like sometimes with my hyper-romanticism, I can fancy some of my friends. But I wouldn't go and do that with them. Do you know what I mean? I don't want to do that outside of a romantic relationship, you know, because I don't believe it's right. You know, I don't believe it's right to do that with your friends, personally. You know, there's boundaries I have in place. But when I told someone from my work, and I was walking, the first friend I ever told, she didn't believe me. She said that you're always talking about guys, always. And I said, yeah, because I get I'm attracted to foreign guys, but aesthetically, not wanting to have sex with them. And she's like, the usual cliche thing asexuals get told, oh, you just haven't met the right person yet. And I wished back then I'd say to her, you're absolutely right, I haven't met the right asexual person yet. But I didn't, because I wasn't confident in my asexuality back in 2014. I started this channel in October 2015. I wasn't confident in 2014. At the very, very beginning, I was wishy-washy. I was weak not in the sense I didn't know that I was that so much, but with her, I was actually at the stage where I'd say I think I'm asexual, because it was a very, very beginning, and I was tentative and not sure where I fitted on the spectrum. And so it was hard, but she did. We used to work together in a previous job as well, so I knew her from before, but she did accept it. Like a year later, it took her. And there was this guy who was gay, who was friends with me and her actually in work, and he didn't accept it either. And you would have thought, with him being gay, part of LGBT, like asexuality is meant to be part of the acronym of LGBT plus QIA. So technically speaking, we're meant to be sort of in the same team. But no, he didn't accept it. He got really funny with me about it. It caused a lot of damage to our friendship at the time. He just wouldn't accept it. He wouldn't take it on board. But at the end of the day, that was his problem. It's not my problem. That's what I want you to understand. It's not your problem if other people don't accept your asexuality. You have to excuse the train because I live near a train station. If people don't accept your asexuality, that is their problem. It's not your problem. You shouldn't live a life worrying about what other people think of you, because the people that matter won't mind, and the people that mind won't matter. That's a Dr. Seuss quote, actually. The people that really care about you won't mind that you're asexual, and the people that mind don't really care about you. They think of their own ego and their own uncomfortability. So it's really important that you believe categorically in your own convictions. Like, I'm asexual and it's okay to be asexual. There's nothing wrong with being asexual. So took a year for the gay guy to accept me as well. So if you're looking to come out as asexual and you're worried about it, you don't have to use the word asexual at first. If you don't want to, you can just say I'm not interested in sex. But if you want to come out as asexual, which I would recommend, then you need to, it depends who you're talking to and how you want to proceed. You could just say it as a random matter of fact, like I did, really, because I'm like, I think I'm asexual. I didn't think it was any big deal, because the thing is, if you think it's a big deal, which obviously it is to you, but if you think it's a big deal, you make a big deal of it, then people can feel like, how can I put it? They can feel like it's a big change for them to accept. Whereas if you just say it casually, like, oh, by the way, just let you know, I'm asexual. I'm not interested in sex. Never been my thing. I don't get the need, urge, or want for it. So, that means, obviously, if your family are wanting babies and stuff like that, you're going to have to sit down and talk to them. I always recommend sitting down and talking to them. But if you fear that, write them a letter. If you fear that, speak to them on the phone so you can put the phone down. Don't have to get into situations that might cause arguments, But if it's like a partner or spouse, you need to sit them down and talk to them and say, look, and put the emphasis on you. Say, it's got nothing to do with you personally. I care about you deeply. List all the good things about the person, all the good qualities, all the good times you have, all the attractions you do experience. So if you don't experience sexual attraction, but you experience aesthetic attraction, tell them that. If you experience romantic attraction, tell them that. Tell them all the attraction you have going on for them. Tell them all the good things about the relationship. Tell them all the wonderful things you love about them. So you make sure that they're in a really good frame of mind for you to then tell them, I need to let you know something that I've been really, really worried about. And you can't them to have a good reaction. You have to want it and hope for it, but you have to understand they might not react well, because you might have not told them you're asexual and been in a relationship with them for like 5 years or a year and not told them up front, and therefore they're going to be shocked. You can't, probably, unless they've already guessed it about you. You have to prepare, expect the best, prepare for the worst, if you know what I mean. So, sit them down, tell them all the good stuff about them, everything you like and love about them, all the good things about the relationship, and tell them, there's something I want you to know, and I have to be honest, and I think it'll make our relationship better if I'm honest with you, because I explain a lot of my behavior and the way I think and feel. I'm hoping this will bring us closer together and cement our relationship more and get that more deeper connected to you. And tell them, so I don't know if you've heard of it, but there is a sexuality called asexuality, which is the lack of sexual attraction. Well, that is what I am. I'm asexual. And you could say, it depends how you feel about it. You could say, as much as I, if you're a person that wish you weren't, you could say, as much as I wished I wasn't asexual, I have to be honest with myself and you that I am. Or as much as I, as much as I want to be sexually attracted to you, it's not possible for me to be that way. Or you can just say, even though I don't experience sexual attraction for you, like I said, there's so many other ways I love you and I'm attracted to you. And I want to make our relationship work. I want it to be good. I still want to be with you. But I realise that you're going to need some time to take this in, to understand it. So ask me as many questions as you want. I'm quite happy to answer any questions you've got about it. Fire away. Ask me anything you want about it. Ask me. Because you must have a ton of questions for me. Unless they say they already knew that about you. But you're welcome to use this channel as a reference point for saying, there's this girl who's asexual. She's been producing videos for a long time. If they need more understanding, if you've got any questions or want me to explain anything to them, then just pop it down in the comments below and I can do another video about it. I hope you found this useful, helpful, insightful in some ways. If you have, please give this video a thumbs up. Please share it with your friends or whoever may benefit. And don't forget, if you haven't already, subscribe to this channel down below and hit the bell icons to get notified of every time I go live out or post a new video. If you want to read more coming out, how it feels to come out as asexual, grab a copy of my Asexual Perspectives book, which is down below in the description. And until next time, embrace your quirky and each other's, and I will see you on the next video live stream. Take care. Bye-bye.